to welcome you to our virtual event and introduce to our guest speaker, Bart David. He is the CEO and founder of Breathing Experience. From his 20 plus years of lessons learned in business, culture, and consulting, the proven results from transforming company cultures and improving the customer experience come back to his simple mission, cultivating experiences for humankind. He has helped over 50 plus organizations and has devoted his career to cultivating meaningful experiences in companies, communities, and cities worldwide. You can find Bart designing experiences around the globe, working with organizations to create a positive change in the world while delivering experiences that last for a lifetime. The employee and customer experience is the jet fuel of his success, and soon it could be fuel yours. I want to give a warm welcome to Bart David, and thank you very much for being part of this important event. Bart, please go ahead with your participation.
Wow, thank you, Roberto, and the entire Bling team. It's an honor to be here. Actually, I'm thrilled to be here, especially in this new digital world. And I want to welcome everybody here that's on the session today. And I wanted to talk about first, you already gave a mouthful of who I am, but talk about what that really is, what we do at Rethink. So Rethink is really a company that relates itself to the customer experience and the employee experience. And we all know that the customer experience starts with the employee experience. That's why we work a lot on culture design, and it's not about coaching anymore. Back in the day, I might have been a coach, but it really evolved into helping companies design their culture. And those cultures are designed to generate a wow customer experience. So we work on both things. But being on the network of Bling today, I really wanted to start this session off with the network experience. I believe that is key to the success of everybody that's participating here and all the members of Bling, because it's also an experience. You know, you're meeting a lot of people from different countries around the world, and you're building a network not just for your business, but you're also building a network to help improve your customers and the reach of their markets, right? So when you network, you increase your net worth. And that network experience is really important because it's not just an experience you want to build for a day. It's something you want to continue building over a lifetime. So one thing you need to bring to this session we're having now and this 1 or 2 day networking event you're having here is, how can I add value to the network, right? If you want to generate an experience, you need to generate more value because people remember you for what you're known for. It's that reputation you want to build here. And at the same time, although Bling does a really great job in doing the certification of who comes on the network and who doesn't, at the same time, to build a network, you have to build trust. And the more value you add to each other, the more you will build trust. So when you talk about the customer experience, the employee experience, and now the network experience, all of that is based on two things. One, it's how can I add value to the people I'm going to connect with? So over time, they can start trusting me more because trust is the new currency, right? Everybody likes to deposit on the trust accounts, but nobody likes to withdraw from the trust account. So it's really important to figure out, first of all, who are these people that I'm going to be networking with? We all know that there's different personalities and different skill sets. You know, I saw on the website of Bling, some are really experts in pharmaceuticals and some are experts in other areas when it comes to shipping and logistics. But this is not just about the global company aspects. This is about meeting the people behind it, right? So really understanding like, who are these people and how can I add value to them? How can my team, our company, add value to their company? And when it comes to value, it's about, what do you value the most? I do believe that if somebody adds value, maybe it's in adding information or you know, having a conversation where you get deep insights about the markets. And because you get these deep insights about the markets, now you're networking, but you're also adding value. Because maybe that person that you were talking to can go back to his country. Well, actually everybody's doing this digital, right? So they can directly go to their customers and they can share that information and add value to their customers. And that's indirect sales, by the way. So I believe that growing your business is not just the thing for you and for Bling. It's a bigger impact. The networking skills you're going to implement today and over the next day is more about the rest. When you increase the network, you're not increasing just your net worth, but also the net worth of your customers, because you're opening doors to new opportunities. Now, if you want to open those doors and you have a lot of people on this network, well, you have to start knocking on the doors. The easy thing is that in this event, the doors are open. It's all about action. It's about walking into the door and figuring out how can you add value to each and every single different room within this digital building we constructed on the platform today, right? And how can you add value? Then on the other side is, don't think that you need to bring a lot of value. I think it's more important to add that value on a consistent basis. Let this not just be this one-time event where you add value to this session today or this event, right? But you never follow up. I believe the more we can trust people is when we can see that people follow up on this event. So don't let it be an event where you just came in and then 3 months after, like, it all faded away, right? If you want to build trust over the future with this network and with the customers of that network, which there's a lot of opportunity, make sure to do it on a consistent basis. There's something I always talk about with companies. You have to pay attention when you build network to 4 things, right? The first thing is energy. Bring good energy to that network. The other thing is bring your enthusiasm. You should be excited about the future. A lot of people, in the world we live in today, they don't have a lot of excitement. You need to be the excitement ambassador right now, right? Because whenever you ship or you sell your services, you're not really selling the services, because you could get the services even on an online system and you don't need the people in between anymore. But what you need to bring is the excitement, because people want that excitement about your service and product. And the third thing I would recommend you to bring into the network is empathy. It's asking the right questions and listening to the people when they're responding to that, right? I think we're building a lot of network, but sometimes we're more interested in our company than interested in the other person. So I invite you to apply empathy and ask great questions, and then take the time to listen to it. We're all working from home and some from the office, and there's a mix. You do have the time. So if you signed up for the Blink conference, you have the time to ask great questions, but please listen with empathy and understand their markets, because sometimes we assume a lot of things in life. And I think by asking great questions and listening to this brand network Bling offers is really interesting, because it might change your perspectives. It might give you different insights. So get great, right, at applying that. But those are 3 E's. And then the third E, that's endurance. And that's what I talk about follow-up. Make sure to endure over the long term. Let this not be a short-term thing, because a lot of people give up after following up for 3 times and we're like, yeah, I went to the network, but we didn't get business out of it. Well, I've been in business before I did the rethink thing, all that, just a short intro to my past. I've been in nightclubs, I've done events. I'm from Belgium originally. I've done real estate, I've done flowers, I've done a lot of businesses, but I'm a guy that likes to design new chapters in my book, because I know I have one life. So I prefer to have a lot of chapters and learn a lot. But if one thing I've learned through all that business experience I've had is the power of follow-up. If you're going to build that network, which yes, will increase your net worth and that of your customers, you have to follow up. You need to become a follow-up expert. So that's where the endurance comes in. Don't follow up for 3 times, follow up for life. Follow up, and hopefully that doesn't happen until the person drops dead. And hopefully that doesn't happen. But follow up until there is no more following up. Because in my experience, I used to do business with Japan. And in order to do business with Japan, it took me pretty much 4 to 5 years of following up. Every week, every month, every year, and keep on going. But when you add value in the follow-up, that's when it works. A lot of people follow up and all they do is ask and ask. No, you follow up with giving. You share information. It's about give and give and give in the follow-up until a certain point you're ready to ask. Like, now let's do business. But most people do the follow-up in a pushy type of situation, right? It's like the typical person that calls you on the phone and wants to offer you a new cell phone plan or whatever, right? It's that pushy follow-up. This is a push that doesn't work in the future. We're looking for the pull follow-up. That's where you add value. So make sure to add value to this network. And I guarantee you, not only will you generate a wow experience, you will build trust along the way. And that is the key ingredient to your success and anybody who's in business. So it's about building trust. Like I said before, keep depositing on the trust accounts. And at some point, that will start generating interest. And you could live by the interest of trust without withdrawing from it. So that's the first, the network experience. That leads me into the customer experience. I believe everybody wants to get more leads, and you're networking to see if you can grow your business and all of these things. But if we want to start talking about the customer experience, I really invite you to start with the basics first. And why is that? Look, I think right now we're living in a touchless economy. And before we dove into the COVID era, we were all living, how would I call it, the frictionless economy, right? So now we're living touchless, but we were already living frictionless. And what do I mean with that? And why is it part of the customer experience? Especially if you're offering services, this is really important to understand. Amazon, let's see who else. Uber, Netflix, Spotify, all of these companies are representatives and new standard setters of the frictionless economy. For example, Amazon made everything easy, everything is fast. It's they offer right now in New York and other states 1 hour shipping. On the other side, you have Netflix that just swipes Blockbuster off the markets, where you have to go get the, if you're from the US, you might, but everybody knows about Blockbuster, right? You have to go to the video place, get the cassette, and then bring it back. I think it was 24 hours, 48 hours after, or they would fine you. So Netflix came and made it really easy for you, right? And they took away all the friction, right? You even had to rewind the tape to bring it there. And I believe that all these companies, the same with Uber, right? You used to look for a cab in the street, but no, now the cab comes to you at the time where you want, at the place you want, and you know exactly who's there, there's safety, there's a lot of things in there. But why do I mention this? Because they have set the new standards for the future. And that is part of the customer experience. What do I mean with that? First, we're gonna have easy, right? Amazon has made everything easy. So why ask yourself, ask yourself right now, how easy is it to do business with my company? Is it really easy? Or is there a lot of friction? And that's part of the customer experience, because customer experience is about taking away all the friction points. And the same is when you're networking, by the way. Is it easy to network with me? Or am I this person that is a little bit like, grumpy? So is it easy? The other one I would say is your company and your service, is it fast? We're living in the world of speed now. Everything needs to be really fast. So when Amazon started offering shipping in 1 hour, they set a whole new standard for all of us. And still it's part of the customer experience. So how fast is your business? Is it easy to work with your business? And then maybe you're saying, yeah, it's very easy to work with my business. But please, I'm inviting you right now to look at it from different perspectives, because I want to add value right now in this session, right? I know that if we cover these 4 topics I'm mentioning right now and you work on this, it will help you to take your business to a whole new level, especially for the future. But you need to look at it from different perspectives. So for example, if I'm asking you right now, is it easy and fast to work with your business? You might say yes. But if we look at the people that receive the orders for the shipping or whatever that is it really? Look at it from your customer perspective, and look at it from your employee perspective, and look at it from the president or CEO perspective. So look at it from different perspectives, and then figure out where are the friction points, what are the friction points, and how can we eliminate or reduce the friction points? Because right now people want zero friction. And the moment they come up in the customer experience with one friction point, they will go to a competitor, right? And that's not what we want. We want to build this amazing network, right? And I really would love to have a network that is frictionless. So the third one on that would be accurate. You can be very fast, right? And you can make it very easy, but then it's not accurate. Like they ordered certain amount of boxes to go on that flight, but it was the wrong amount of boxes, or it was the wrong volume, or the wrong weight, or whatever. So it has to be accurate. Now, I don't think that's a problem in business, but we have seen that easy and speed is a big problem when it comes to the customer experience. And actually, all of these friction points, they can be taken away by chatbots or automatically going into your website platform and placing the order and doing all that. And the future will continue to go that route. Some companies are building their apps and they're doing it through apps and all that. And you can't really compete on a high level with Amazon and those companies. So that's where the fourth one comes in. It's friendly. So you have speed, easy, and then you have accurate, but then comes in the fourth, and that's friendly. And that's where you also apply the 3 E's, the empathy, the energy, the enthusiasm, and the endurance. But I really believe that that's a big part of the customer experience. It's taking that friendly part and turning that in something from another level. That whenever you generate that experience with your customers, they say, wow. Look, right now we're going into Amazon and we're clicking to order something or whatever, but you don't have the wow effect anymore. And I think that now companies have been over boosting wow, but when I was in nightlife, when I was 19 years old, I used that term. So I think it's a signature term of myself, but it's wow, right? So when you take friendly to a whole new level, people will say, wow, because once you just maintain the standards of Amazon and Uber, that's the new normal, right? I haven't seen going into a cab of Uber and going out of the car saying like, wow, sometimes it might have happened, but not so often. I really believe that if you want to take your customer experience to a whole other level, you need to take that to wow levels. And it starts with being friendly. So evaluate first these 4 points that I talked about in frictionless economy, which is speed, easy, accurate, and friendly. If you work on those 4, those are still the basics of service. That's service, and service is still a reactive mode. So we need to understand that when you talk about the experience, it's past service. So service are the 4 things I just talked about. But experience is a whole other level. And most of the time, service is a reactive mode. So your customer comes in and he looks for something that needs to be shipped, let's say, right? And your people, they reply to them and they figure out the best way to do that. That's still a reactive experience. So when you talk about the experience, and I'll set it away from the service, you have to talk about something more proactive. So it's really about the experience is really understanding the avatars of your customer. And what are avatars of the customer? It's exactly what you should be doing right now in a network. It's knowing who they are, what motivates them, where they've been in the past, where they want to go in the future. You know, I always like to ask this question when I'm networking, and maybe it's a question you might implement today. I like to ask people, what are you most excited about for the future? A very simple question, but what are you most excited about when it comes to your business or whatever for the future? And then all you do is listen. Once you start understanding what they're excited about for the future, you know about their dreams, their goals, their objectives, now you can figure out how you can add value. So the customer experience comes more to understanding your customers to really customize the experience. And when we talk about customization, people think it requires a lot of time. Well, if you set in a really great sales process, you do it in the beginning and you don't have to do it all the time, right? Sometimes in the beginning, we just take on new customers and we don't really dive into their avatars or into all the little details of where they want to go, where they were, where they are right now, what they need from us to help them grow their business. And we skip a lot of, you know, I would say processes within the sales process. We skip them, so we never have that information to really customize it. So if you want to take the customer experience to a whole other level, you need to really know who you're working with. Without it, you will never be able to customize it. And it's the key to customization that will help you grow towards the future. Because we live in a world of customization. You can go into Louis Vuitton today and you can come out with a purse for your wife or for yourself. There's going to be women on here too. And it can be customized with your initials, right? Or you can go into an Uber and you can customize the music that you want to play in that Uber. And the future is customization. But sometimes we don't want to put in the work to figure out how to customize it. And how can you add value to someone if you don't know who they are and what they need in the future? So really dive into your avatars, you know, who they are, what they do, why they do it, understand their purpose, understand the culture they operate. there's different cultures in the world, especially in the world of business, but at least understand their culture so you can align with their culture and their values. But if you don't know it, then how can you help them or serve them better? Because at the end of the day, it's not about help, it's about serving and surpassing their expectations. So if you don't know who they are and where they're going, then how can you surpass those expectations if you don't know what they are? So I believe that's really, really important to pay attention to. And then when it comes to that, to the customer experience, we strongly believe it is impossible to ask for a customer experience when you don't give an internal employee experience to your team. There's a lot of people that right now that are networking, and we've seen this many times in networking events. People go back, well, right now everybody's digital, so everybody's in the office, but then the day just goes by and they keep doing everything instead of bringing the information you're gonna get on this network and sharing it with the team. You know, it's about showing them how you value them by having a meeting, sitting down, look, you know, we explored new markets in Dubai and new markets in Japan and this and that, and we could do this with our customers, but most often that information is not shared. So if you really want to take the customer experience to a whole new level, you need to start with the employee experience first. And you might say, well, my employee experience is first, and you know, we treat them like, wow. Sometimes we believe that because it's a perspective, but there's always more to be done. You know, if we go into a company and we ask them their happiness level within the company, most often 90% of people, they're at average. And we're talking about huge companies, from insurance to car industry to flower industry to hotel chains. The employee experience is still low. And if we want to take the future of your business and of the Bling network to a whole other level, you need to generate a wow employee experience or a team experience. It's about highly connected teams. So one of the things to do there is I really invite you to go back after this event and go back and sit down with the team and share them the information that you shared with the network here and make them feel important, and then figure out, okay, this is what we learned. And this is what we could do. Now it's about the team experience. How can we take that to that whole other level? If you don't include them, you're not going to be able to do it alone. And maybe on the follow-up, maybe you're meeting so many people right now on the network of Bling that it's going to be really hard for you to follow up on that, especially if you don't schedule the follow-up. But maybe the team can help out, right? Maybe you met Mike from the US and Mike has a team behind him. So maybe now you can connect with the team of Mike and connect your team with their team and start building the relationship. You know, the relationship is not going to be built in a short-term period. And it's not going to be built by one-on-one. I know that right now you're all going to have one-on-ones, and that's great. But turn that one-on-one into a 5-on-5 and then a 10-on-10 and start spreading that impact that you can generate. Because then, right now, your sales team can go to the customers and go talk to them and say, hey, we have great opportunities in Asia, or we have great opportunities in Germany or Mexico or Argentina, wherever that is. And that's when this whole thing of Bling is really going to bring out opportunities. Because, by the way, let's talk about those opportunities. If you're networking today and you find new markets and new areas that you can ship to and connect with each other, let's say that one of your customers, because of that networking opportunity, and I'm going to take a flower farm as an example, because I just was on a call with a flower farm, and maybe somebody does flower shipping. Imagine if you were able, because of this network, to find a new customer in Asia, let's say, and that customer in Asia is now doing business, and you connected the network there in Asia and all the things you're doing. I'm not an expert on everything that's happening on the Bling network, but let's say that now one farm in Colombia or Ecuador, right, is shipping now to Asia, 30% of their flowers. They just increased their production by 30%. And because of increasing 30%, they gave labor to 500 more people that were out of jobs today. And that impact is huge because those 500 people have most of the time 3 to 4 family members. So now you're talking about 2,000 people that you impacted just through a networking event supported by Bling. Imagine the power of that. I think that's magnificent. But that only works if you really come back and make sure you have the right employee experience by sharing the information, adding value to your team so your team can add value to their customers. And imagine the possibilities over there. You know, your company will thrive if you do that. But once again, share it. And that comes down to communication, right? How great is your communication? And between your customers, between the network you're building right now, between your team, communication is still something that we need to get better at, all of us, including myself. It's something we need to work on every day, because it's not about communicating more, it's about communicating more clearly. Sometimes we communicate a lot of things, but there's a lack of clarity. And because there is a lack of clarity, there is a lack of focus. So really figure out, and I would say when you communicate, you need to inspire the other party to start doing the things you're talking about. So you're building a network and you're talking about the great opportunities. Let's say it's Dubai, right? If the 4 E's are not present there, the person is not going to be inspired, because at the end of the day, you're doing a transaction of enthusiasm. And that enthusiasm, when you come out of this event, it always happens. In events, we're all very enthusiastic. We have high energy because we're excited, right? But you need to transfer that enthusiasm to your team so your team can transfer that enthusiasm to your customers. Because we don't buy the products, we don't buy the services. We buy the enthusiasm. We want to be part of the enthusiasm. Because if somebody is enthusiastic about their services, I mean, imagine they're going to go infinity and beyond for that customer, right? But if there's no enthusiasm, nobody's going to do that. So pay attention to that. On the other side, it might sound cheesy, but everything that you're doing right here on this network, it really generates positive impact. Like the example I just gave you. Just sometimes and most often we don't look at it that way. But imagine right now, everybody's in the shipping world, how you can connect different countries, different continents together, how you can help businesses grow in South America, North America, in Europe, in Asia, in Russia, all around the world. Imagine the possibilities, right? But it's about adding value. So ask yourself, how can I add value to this network? How can I bring or build this networking experience through building value? Because once you add value to people and you do that with follow-up and on a consistent basis, we trust let me explain it this way. We trust what feels normal to us. So if you don't follow up with value, I don't see you enough to trust you because it doesn't feel normal. You're still this weird person that I saw once on a digital conference. But if you do it over time, and actually I could give you one more, we call it Q-FIT: quality, frequency, intensity, and time. It's the frequency of the follow-up. It's the quality of the follow-up and the value you add to these people, the intensity and the time you spend to it. So pay attention. That's a good one you could take even to your team or to your customers. But going to that frequency part, if you follow up with value, the frequency is really important. You know, I'm a pretty much of a foodie, so I'm not as skinny as I'd like to be. But if I would go to the gym once a year, that's not enough frequency to build something, right? And if I would go once a month to the gym, that's not enough either, right? I would have to go every day for 2 hours probably to get a six-pack, right? And the same is with your customers. So to follow up, you need to pay attention to the frequency and the intensity, because I could do it frequently. I could go to the gym every day, but I could lift very, very light weights. So my muscles are not going to build. And I could do the same, but I could do it for only 3 minutes every day. So pay attention to frequency when it comes to value and follow-up, because that's really key, not just to your success, and I repeat this, but to the success of your customers. Because if you're not networking at a whole other level right now, it's a selfish act. Because if you don't use the network you have today, other companies are not able to grow. And imagine that growth ambassador, and we could call it, you are right now the growth ambassador to your country to help producers or whatever companies or industries in your area to grow them. And I think actually that's a good thing to close the session with, is ask yourself, who do I need to become to be that growth ambassador for the future of my country, of my continent, and whatever that is? And although it might sound like this simple thing to say, but always ask yourself the following. To bring out the best customer experience, the employee experience, the network experience, to add value to the world through our shipping services, who do I need to become first? To bring that wow experience all around wherever we go. Because people don't remember you for what you said, nor did they do for what you did, but how you made them feel. And when you make people grow, they have a feeling they will never, ever forget. And by the way, that quote is from Maya Angelou, right? But I've been using that for many years of my life because it's about how you make people feel. And when you help companies grow, and because of that, they can grow in revenue, but also expand, the team they have. And because of that, there is more work opportunities in the future. Imagine the impact you're leaving, right? So thank you, Bling, for having me here today. I know it's a short little session we offered you, but if you apply the things we talked about right now, you can change the course and destination, not only of companies, but of people's lives. And Bling has connected that all together. So yes, build your network so you can increase the net worth, but more importantly, so you can increase the net worth of the world. Thank you for having me. Enjoy your afternoon or your morning, and I see you all soon.